Well, hello everybody. In this video, I want to talk about this new little tankless water heater we started using. We're a new construction company. We install a lot of tanklesses. This one here is pretty neat. It's put out by a company called A.O. Smith, which is out of McBee, South Carolina. I like anything out of South Carolina because that's where I'm from. Now, they don't make the water heater. This is actually made in Japan, but it is distributed by A.O. Smith, and it has the A.O. Smith labels all over. This is the ATO 310U model. Some neat things about it. This one puts out 8.0 gallons of hot water a minute at a 60-degree temperature rise. I've got a lot of other videos on about tanklesses to tell you kind of what that's about. But what's so neat about this thing is it is field convertible from natural gas to propane. So if you got a house and you don't know if it's going to be natural gas or if it's going to be propane coming at you, you can put this one on the house, go ahead and install it and everything. If it turns out to be propane later on, it comes with a little kit inside of it that will let you convert that gas ports and stuff over to where it'll burn off of propane, and you don't have to do anything else with it. You just get the one heater, and it can be either natural gas or propane. So I'm going to kind of do a little series here, and the first part of that, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do a little unboxing here and see what all you get in the kit when you buy the water heater. All right, everybody. First thing I want to point out here is this box. They've actually kind of packaged pretty neat. I really like how they do it. But there's two straps on the top of this box. Sometimes there's two straps and it's wrapped in plastic. And whenever you're buying something new that's a kit or something like that, don't buy the open box, because unless you're getting a discount or deal on it, because there might be something missing inside. And I mean, that goes for all kinds of things. Even little plastic car models that you might have put together as a kid. Don't buy one that's open, because it might be missing that one crucial piece. You need to finish the thing. But there are some goodies in here, so just remember, if it doesn't have the straps on it, or it's duct tape or something, you probably don't want to get that one. You probably want to grab a different one. So now when you do this, be careful. And I might have cut my head off a little bit because I want to have some floor space to show you what's going on. Well, you basically cut the straps, grab the two little handles, and you should be able to just lift it right off of there. Pretty neat, huh? And that's your little water heater, all your little instruction manuals. There's some other goodies down in the bottom here. It comes with its own little remote control. A lot of people call these a thermostat, but the thermostat's a little bit different. It senses ambient temperature around the thermostat, where this is not. This is just letting you turn the water heater up and down. And if you have error codes, this will give you some error codes. It'll beep at you. It does come with its own nice little handy wire, but pretty neat little thing. A lot of the water heaters have controllers available, but they don't come with them. Let's see. We've got our big instruction manual, and this thing that makes it so neat, it's the little conversion kit. Now, once I get this thing put on the wall, I'm going to go over the conversion kit. Now, I'm not going to film the install because I have an install of a ream that I did earlier, and if you'd like to know more about the install, please check out the video on how to install a tankless water heater. Let's see if they gave you anything else here. Nope, that's pretty much it. Some of your water heaters, like your Rinnai, they'll come with an isolation valve kit. This one did not come with an isolation valve kit. You don't really need an isolation kit to make this water heater function, but I highly recommend it because that's going to have the ports to do your descaling, which I also did a video on that too. But that's pretty much the unboxing of your little A.O. Smith ATO 310. So I'm going to hang this on the wall, and I'm going to show you how to do this little conversion kit. So let's take a look at what you get in the conversion kit that comes with the water heater. First off, they're really nice, and they give you two extra screws. In case you lose a screw while you're doing this, they give you two extra chances there. In case you drop a screw in the pine straw or something, you do have two extra ones. If you don't use them, I'd hang on to them. You might need them on another water heater later on. The next thing in this bubble wrap, you get the actual conversion kit itself, which is these little aluminum pieces with a gasket on it, and it's like little nozzles, little jets. Watch your gaskets, make sure they don't fall off. The neat thing about these guys is they only go in one way. There's a little arrow that goes up, and the way these little lines are done, it's keyed kind of, so it only goes in one way, so you can't put these in the wrong place. There's a big one and there's two little ones there. So that's the actual conversion kit itself. Next thing they give you is in this little cardboard envelope. This is kind of neat. It's a gasket for your gas manifold. So they give you an extra gasket. If you're doing this on a brand new one, you might get lucky and don't tear up that little cork gasket, and you could reuse the old one, but you got to be careful with that. Make sure you don't tear up your gasket, but they do give you another one. The next thing they've got here is a little sticker. Now this sticker is the sticker you're going to put on after you're done with the conversion. This tells you that it is converted over to a propane water heater, and it has all the different stats. When you get it, it's set up for natural gas, and it's going to have a natural gas sticker on it. But you're going to take this and you're going to stick it on the heater over that natural gas. That tells everybody that it is set up for propane. A lot of times the gas guys won't hook up a propane tank unless they see this sticker. And then the last thing here, they do have a step-by-step instruction manual on how to put it together, how to do everything, and then how to do your dip switches later on, which is kind of one of the last steps of the process. So let's go take a look at our water heater. I went ahead and hung my water heater here on the wall, just kind of temporary. I'm not going to hook up anything underneath. This is just for the conversion kit. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to need to open this water heater up. And what I mean by that is you're going to take the front cover off. Now, whenever dealing with a tankless water heater, you're going to want to get you a long magnetic Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to do everything manually. No impacts, no drills, no electric stuff, because you can strip these little screw holes out, and then you're going to be buying a gas manifold or whatever. So you're going to do this all manually. Go ahead and get you a good screwdriver. This one actually is from Rheem. It says it on the side, and it's got the tech support number on it. You get stuff like this when you go to the tankless classes. They haven't done any of those in a little while, but they're really fun, and most of the time they're free. So most tankless water heaters have 4 screws, one in either corner. A.O. Smith is going to have 2 up top and 1 down at the bottom to take the cover off. I went ahead and did that just for time. So here we go. It's the inside of the tankless water heater. This is where some of our installers get kind of nervous, kind of scared. They don't really like messing with this because they're afraid they're going to mess something up. Well, all of these wires, all of these connectors only go back one way. Once you mess with these things for a little bit, you're going to understand that these are all just components. There's a fan, there's a motherboard, there's a gas valve and a manifold, there's a burner box, and your heat exchanger, and of course your exhaust fan. It's pretty simple once you get to messing with them a lot. Now to do the conversion kit, you're going to have to take out all 20 of these little screws here. And that, for a lot of the guys, are like, whoo, that's a lot, that's scary, I don't want to do it, I don't want to mess nothing up. But get your long screwdriver, and I recommend getting one of these little metal magnetic pans that you can stick on the side of the water heater to hold your screw. They do give you kind of a little shelf up under here that you can set that on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take all these screws out and show you what the inside looks like. I've got all my screws taken out here, all 20 of them. Got them in my little magnetic tray down here. This cover right here, now I've been messing with it, so it's pretty loose, but it's going to be pretty much stuck, and you're going to have to get this off of here. I recommend getting a flathead screwdriver, just a small one, and get in here, find a little lip somewhere that you can pry at it. You're probably going to have to find a couple spots and pry at it, but you're going to be real careful when doing this because you do not want to mess up this gasket, and it should just pop right off of there. And there's your cork gasket on the back side of it. Go ahead and inspect that, make sure you didn't tear it up or break it or anything. If you did mess it up or tear it up or anything like that while trying to get it off of there, you have a spare one in your kit. So here's the inside of this gas manifold. See all the little ports? See those little swiggly lines? That's going to be what's going to help you line up your conversion kit. So I typically do the big one first because it's the easy one. Find that A. Let's see how the little squiggly lines go. That's what makes it keyed. So it's only going to go in one way. And you put this on here and you give it a kind of a push. And it's going to fit right up in there, nice and flat. Watch your little gaskets when you're doing that. They should stay on there pretty good. And here's another one. Make sure that the A is up, and this one is going to fit, should go right in there. And the last one. Oh, nope, I got it upside down. There we go. All right, they're all in there, and they're going to fit in there pretty snug. Now what we've done is we've changed the jets here for the propane. And then we put our cover back on. This is not that hard of a job. There's little pins here. Watch your gasket. Your gasket should be firmly stuck to the side. If you're using the new gasket, you could probably put the new gasket on the heater itself and then put this plate up here. But there are these little guide pins to hold it together. And then you're going to start putting your 20 screws back in. When putting these screws back in, you're going to want to do it like changing a tire. You're going to want to put one over here, one over here, one there, one there, one there, one there. And don't tighten the crap out of them. Just get them snug as you go. And you're going to work your way around, kind of bringing this plate, the whole thing down together at the same time. You don't want to crank down on one side because you might twist and kick this out all weird, and you're going to have to take the screws back out, or you might mess up that gasket. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. We got our gas manifold all put back together now. All 20 of those screws. We got them snug, nice and snug, not tight, but nice and snug with our screwdriver, doing it all by hand. We don't want to strip out this gas manifold. It's an aluminum manifold with stainless steel screws, so be very, very careful when putting it back together. So, moving on with the next step. What we got to do now is we got to change our dip switches. And this is in that little instruction pack. I would always read the little book if you haven't ever done it before. It's not much to look at, but there is a dip switch setting. So, where are my dip switches? Well, that's right here on the motherboard, under this little plastic cover. You go ahead and take that off. It's a little row of switches here. Whenever working on one of these things, always turn the power off to it. Now, when it's a new install like this, we're not going to have power to it at all. You do have a little on-off switch up here for the A.O. Smith that'll kill the power, but you should have a dedicated on-off switch or a dedicated circuit breaker or some type of disconnect on a water heater. So let's take a look at these dip switches. So here's our dip switches. It's these little white switches in this little blue box kind of here. And they're going to tell you to switch the number 1 and number 2. This comes set up for natural gas, but you're going to have to tell it you want to burn propane. It's different fuel to air mixtures here. So because propane is liquid propane, LP, and then of course natural gas is just a gas. So you're going to take something like your little screwdriver, flip number 2 on and number 1 off. And that's pretty much all you got to do. Put that little plastic cover back on here, and then close it up and you're ready to go. We're almost done. We're down to the final steps. If you turn the power off with this little switch, go ahead and make sure you turn that back on because you don't want to cover this thing up and then go, oh, what's wrong with it? But turn that back on, put your little plastic piece back on there, kind of check everything out, make sure you're not leaving anything in here, and put your cover back on. And put your screws back in. And then one of the most important and one of the simplest parts of this job is get your little propane sticker out. Your natural gas sticker is right here. You're going to go ahead and cover that up. You're going to want to do that because the gas guys, if they show up and they see that it's still a natural gas sticker, they might not hook the propane to it because they don't know. They think it's still natural gas. But this sticker is going to say that it is now a propane tankless water heater with all the stats. Go ahead and put the date, go ahead and put the company name, and I always put either my name or my initials or something like that, just in case something got messed up with the conversion here. I know that I did it, and I can go back and look to see where I screwed up and correct the problem. That way I don't continue to screw up. Yeah. So go ahead and put sticker on here, fill it out, and that's pretty much it. This is a really neat heater with that in the field conversion kit. So maybe you're building a new house in kind of a rural area, and then 5 years down the road they run a natural gas line for you. You can switch this back to natural gas just by doing those steps backwards. Change those dip switches back to the way they were, and take that conversion kit out, and you're pretty much done with it at that point. Thanks a lot, guys. I want to thank y'all for all the really positive comments that I've gotten. I was not expecting that, and I do read through that stuff. I don't have a lot of time to do it, but I will try to get to your questions and answer them if I can. But I am a plumber, and I still do a lot of work in the field when the guys need me. So thanks a lot for everything, and I hope you see my next video.